Hello again all, sorry for the delay. We all know the times are changing and we've all got to make different plans at different short notice, everything. But we're back and still trying to aim for 2 videos a week. This one, I looked at some of the comments a couple of times, written them down. Special Forces training with other different units. And my thoughts on it. So I'm going to do a few of those, and this first one will be to do with the training team I was with in Sri Lanka. I'll come on to that in a second. First of all, let me just quickly do the intro. Please don't send DMs and stuff to me. It's easier just to go to my website to find out about the books, the prints, everything else, because basically it comes through there, through the office manager, which is built into my computer. I read it, I sign and send wherever in the world. It's not a problem, and it's much easier for me instead of looking at bits of traffic here and there and rusty this. Just go to the website, please. That's much easier. Anyway, these 2 books are on there. The Regiment, 15 years in the SAS. My life story up until I left the regiment in 1992. The story I'm going to go on to today, in a moment, is in this book as well, or part of it. The other one is this, Go, Go, Go. That's Jamie Bell on the front of my cover. He plays me in the film 6 Days. It is the definitive story of the Iranian embassy siege. Both of them on Audible as well. Prints, as the print behind me, the resolution, yes, that's me in the centre with no gloves on. And I've got those at home, just sign and send them as well. The other print is the surrender. I haven't got it in front of me, but it is on my website. You'll see me stood in front of a Pakara aircraft, Port Stanley Airfield, the day of the surrender. I take a look. All signed and sent from home. YouTube channel, which is this one, Rusty Firmin SAS TV. Must be 50 or 60 videos on there now. Start of lockdown, bit of fun to start with, then people are sending in some really good comments and stuff, so I have kept it going. And I'll still keep it going when we come out of this lockdown, until potentially there might be another lockdown. But we'll see how that goes. I've got no control over that. I wish I had. I wouldn't be, well, I'd be doing stuff differently than I am right now. That's got 15,000 almost subscribers. It's free. So grab your mates, get them to come and have a look. It's all free. And as you say, you've only got to look at the comments. Get the odd bad one, expected. But in the main, if you take a look, they're very good comments. And people spend an awful long time writing them out. So thank you for that, because I learn from it. And then I try my best to at least answer some of them. But when you get that many, it's quite difficult. But thank you. And then there's a Facebook page. We've got SAS Special Air Service Military Collectors page. Take a look at that. If you want to join, just ask for the invite. We'll take a look at it. And as I say, on that one, we've got almost 7,000 now since lockdown started. It's quite amazing, really. So it just shows you we're heading in the right directions. We're keeping people happy, filling in time for them and giving them some information. No classified stuff, I'm afraid. But, you know, information on first hand, if you like, rather than the Mickey Mouse waltz who try to get on. You know, we've had them try to get on the page. Sometimes we tease them and let them in and then boot them out. It's dead simple. So we are going in the right direction and we're doing it for the right reasons. So feel free. Then today we all know that Operation Nimrod 1980, it changed the way counter-terrorism, certainly in this country, was looked at and abroad. And indeed, other terrorists wanted to come to this country to cause mayhem. Okay, they came over, they went down to London, took over the Iranian embassy, the siege set in. 6 days, the name of my film, which Jamie Bell plays me in, there's the video. It's on Netflix, or video. And the rest is history, really. We rescued the hostages, 5 terrorists were killed, 1 got out alive. And better than that, 19 hostages were saved that day. All of a sudden, the SAS is very, very public all over the world. They wanted to be trained by the likes of us. And that's exactly what happened. A few months after the siege, I think it was the end of July time, about 8 of us were put together as a training team to go to Sri Lanka and train the counter-terrorist team in tactics, shooting, everything that goes with it. Brand new team, they wanted to be trained. And they wanted to be trained, as they said, by the best. And I should imagine when we got off the plane and were met, you could see the look in their eyes. Almost, it must be like Manchester United, knowing that they've got to play Liverpool, the world champions, and they get to Anfield. They look at the stadium, Liverpool are 2-0 up already. It's as simple as that. And we had to be on our best behaviour because, let's be honest, we were going to be the role models for these guys, and we were going to teach them and train them and take them and put them into a team. Easier said than done? Who knows? However, it happened. So we had to look at training an assault team and a sniper team and the head shed that goes with it, how they operate, and make it mold into a team. The good news is the Sri Lankans spoke English, so we didn't have to worry about interpreters. That was a bonus. Let's be honest, I've worked through interpreters. Even to me, it takes twice as long to teach the same subject. But not only that, the interpreter, if he gets it slightly wrong and they don't grasp it, you'll never know. But if it's in English and we're doing it, you can only blame yourself if it goes wrong. And that's what we did. We went out there. When we got off the airplane in Colombo, we were met and taken away very professionally into the sticks, I'll say, and this is where the training camp would be. And the guys that were going to be on the team, or hopefully going to be on the team that we were training, had fixed up everything that was asked. So our first task was to get out and have a look and see were the training facilities good enough to do the training. Therefore, that's how it started. Bearing in mind, this was some way outside of Colombo, and it's in a more jungle type environment, a nice environment. But the camp was there away from public view. The training facilities were there away from public view, as you can expect. However, some of the very first stuff to look at were the facilities. And I'm saying facilities because before we come on to the kit and equipment and weaponry and stuff like that, we need to know that the facility that we're going to train them in is adequate at the very, very least. Pleasantly surprised. They'd put a lot of work in. They had a killing house built. Okay. Yeah, ingenuity at its best. On the outside were the big railway type sleepers. Now bearing in mind we were only going to fire a maximum of 9mm rounds, low velocity really in comparison. So safety is paramount. Could we shoot safely inside that building? Heads together? Yep. Tick in the box. So from there we went to the range areas. We needed a small range as well. The killing house, sorry, by the way, would be multi-room, and as I say, made of sleepers in the main, and rubber tires and things like that, as you can expect. We'll come back to that one at some stage. The range area, we needed a 30-meter range thereabouts for the assault team, because let's be honest, assault teams generally, room combat in my day anyway, you're talking at 3 to 5 meters, but 360-degree arc. So you have to be safe. If you turn around, shoot behind you. You can't tell the terrorists to stand in front of you, can you? Think about it. Safety and your own knowledge is what's going to take you through, and you're going to teach a counter-terrorist team how to become a counter-terrorist team. So 30-meter range was fine, targetry, everything was there. Then we needed a longer range, and I think from memory it was 200 yards, 250, which is plenty for the snipers, because that would be the sort of distances, maximum distances, that they would need to be, especially, let's be honest, in a city-type environment. Slightly different on an airfield, for example, but they had to get them proficient in shooting the different types of weapons that they had. So we needed a longer range. So the assaulters could do one, and of course the snipers could carry on doing their job at the same time. From that, what else did we need? Well, we needed something in the lines of a custom-built embassy type building for obvious reasons. So they built that. Great, huge place, and that was used many times, and we needed it to be accessible for helicopters landing on the roof, etc. Abseiling, fast roping from the helicopters onto the building, all that type of stuff. If you think about it, I can sit here and talk about it because I've been there and done it. These guys had never done it. They were going to have to be shown how to do it, and then you slip in the little tricks of the trade that you've learned to make it easy, and this is how we were going to approach it. Certainly my approach anyway. The other guys are no different. They've all got different ways of explaining and teaching. They were going to have to go from scratch. EDIP. Explanation, demonstration, imitation, participation. Think about that. Explain, demonstrate, get them to participate. Done. They copy and then participate in it. That's how I approached it, and I'm certain the other guys would do exactly the same. That's what we were taught. Not hard. Another ingenuity, we needed an aircraft. Now, who's going to fly an aircraft into the jungle? Not many. How do we get an aircraft into the jungle? With great difficulty. What did they do? They built the aircraft fuselage on like pallets, stationary, fixed, so you could attack the aircraft. Very similar. Obviously it's not real. Even if you did any maximum damage to it, you could repair it because it was built. It didn't have to go back anywhere at the end. It was going to stay there as a training facility. However, coaches, we had a couple of coaches for coach options. So we've covered an embassy type building option if it was taken over. We've covered an aircraft, albeit only one aircraft, but the drills and principles are the same on different, but on different aircraft they may vary with amounts of bodies that you use. Small aircraft, big aircraft. Medium aircraft, I hear you say. Yes, any aircraft. Adaptability and flexibility. So they had the vehicles. They weren't Range Rovers, but they were good enough to carry the kit and equipment, which will be a separate story after this one. This is the number one, if you like, in how it works. They had the vehicles, which was, so now we're not short of anything really, apart from personnel. So we've been shown all the facilities we've got to work with. Look at them, you take it in for when you're doing your own planning. And let's be honest, on all of this stuff now, if it falls down and we're happy with the training facility, then it's our fault. So even we remember the 7 P's: prior planning and preparation, prevent piss poor performance, in the back of your mind. We need to get them to get that same mentality for when they're doing, after we've shown them and get them to do it, then they need to be planning what if. And when I say that, what if something goes wrong? A backup plan. Imperative. So this is where the guys that you've got in front of you, you need to get them thinking about, right, this is the plan, but it doesn't go right. That didn't go textbook. I can tell you, it's in my book. Yeah, you make it work. You make it work. But you need to have the basics. The basics are what we were going to show them. And when we left the country, it would be down to them forevermore to carry on, get their own instructors, as we couldn't keep going back every 5 minutes for them. They would then have to fully understand how this team works. We were there to show them that. And all the training that we did would be called option training. Stronghold option. That really was a stronghold option. Armed terrorists, we have to go into that and rescue the hostages. Option training. Aircraft, embassy, building, all sorts. You have your set of your own individual responsibility, but then you've got your team responsibility within what was our squadron responsibility. So that was how that went. And this is what we was just telling you now. This is what we're going to have to instill into people who hadn't done it before. They turned out a pleasant surprise, I can tell you that. So we've talked about that so far. Then I'll skip quickly through the kit and equipment, if you like. You know, they've got the individual. First of all, we've talked about the vehicles and the ladders. Ladders are normally attached to the vehicle, and then you've got other ladders that are not. They're the ones you can carry, put up to maybe a balcony or something. But it's another story, this. You've got the vehicles we've talked about, fast rope, abseiling. Generally, you'd be doing the fast roping and abseiling. Certainly the fast rope would probably be from the helicopter, obviously, onto maybe a building roof. And then the abseiling, as you saw in the Embassy Siege, at the back of the building, from the roof down to the second floor, that type of stuff would have to be covered in the training. And then they got the full kit. Did the kit fit? Do we have to show them how to put it all together, to make it comfortable? You've got to live in it. There, lived in it for 6 days. Respirators, almost part of your, there's my respirator, almost part of your body, everywhere. Gloves, there's mine there, hanging up. Okay, gloves. Your gas hood, okay, over the top of your respirator, your coveralls, your nice shiny black boots, which were filthy, by the way, to look the part, as well as being able to walk the walk. Okay, all very important. Body armor, your waistcoat that goes over where you put your flashbangs and stuff in, radio, all of that type of stuff, uniformity, and then the radio systems and everything else had to be covered. A big task. I think 6 to 8 weeks, I think, we're there. And then, of course, the weaponry and stuff, which I will mention in the next program. And all of that type of stuff had to be covered. Because you can't sit back and say, oh, you know, they're okay. No. When we took over the SP team up there, even when I did my second tour, which was that one, we go back to basics and we start at stripping, cleaning and assembling your weapon, the one you've had, the one you've used, all over but we go back to basics and start again and then build up. Now for us it was easy because we could build up quicker. These had to go to basics. If you can't master the basics, next. However, they were very good in the end. So it's something to bear in mind that it isn't something for everybody. And we didn't actually choose the first group of guys that we trained. They had already been chosen, and they were there waiting for us to start training them. Yeah, it was fun. Yes, it was hard work. Yes, we were there to do a job on behalf of the British government. Okay, to get this counter-terrorist team together. And if you think back to, I think mid-70s possibly, around about mid-70s, they had the Tamil Tiger. That's when they were formed up, I believe. And then finally, I think they were wrapped up in 2009-10, something like that. So they knew there was possible trouble heading their way. And of course, we were there to teach them what to do if they were required. I, from memory, and bear in mind this is 40 years ago, I, from memory, remember them being very good as a final product. Not all of them passed. If you want to read any more about it, just get my book, The Regiment, 15 Years in the SAS. It mentions a fair bit of that. It's part of my life. So with that, for today, I will leave you and look forward to next time. Please keep your comments coming in, and with the comments, just add anything you might like me to do as a program like I'm doing right now. I do read them, but I can't answer them all. There's quite a lot. However, the ones that stick straight away, I just make a note in the book. Hence this one. This one will be followed on by the rest of it, and then we'll go into other stuff I've done throughout the world with different counter-terrorism teams, special forces. So with that for today, have a good weekend. Who dares wins.